Welcome to the Age is Irrelevant podcast with your host, Helen Fritsch. Helen is a 60-plus, lifelong competitive athlete, flight attendant, published fitness model, writer, IFBB bodybuilding pro, and certified wine specialist who believes that your age is irrelevant to pursue goals, dreams, and desires. Are you a woman in her 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond who still has a burning desire to pursue a dream or a passion? Are you thinking about starting a new chapter in your life, but you're hesitant, thinking that you might be too old or just don't know where to begin? The Age is Irrelevant podcast is a podcast devoted to women who want to defy the odds, smash barriers, and redefine happiness and success after 40. It's time to make a difference. There is no need to dread blowing out that added birthday candle every year. A new movement is slowly taking momentum, where being over the hill just isn't relevant anymore. Age labels are being thrown out the window, and women are rediscovering the strength within themselves to make a difference, not only within their own lives, but also touching and inspiring the lives of other women. Join Helen as she and her guests discuss all aspects of aging after 40 and how to make the aging process and those twilight years more rewarding, exciting, and fun.
Hello and welcome to the Age is Irrelevant podcast. I'm your host, Helen Fritsch, and this is episode 119. Now, today's guest is someone who truly embodies what it means to take ownership of your health, your energy, and your life. I'm excited to welcome Monica Campbell, a dynamic force in the world of fitness, biohacking, and cutting-edge wellness, to the show. Now, Monica isn't just a fitness enthusiast. She's a passionate educator and experimenter, constantly exploring ways to optimize the body and mind. From her deep knowledge of peptides to her commitment to living vibrantly and intentionally, she's helping redefine what's possible at every age of life. Through her presence on social media and beyond, Monica inspires others to think differently about aging, performance, and longevity. She blends science with real-life application in a way that's both empowering and accessible, and she leads by example. This conversation is packed with insight, curiosity, and a shared mission, helping people feel stronger, healthier, and more in control of their own well-being. So, let's dive in. Hi, Monica. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
I'm so excited for you to be here. And for my guests, I want to let you know that I had the privilege of meeting Monica and Jay Campbell the other night here in Scottsdale. They were here on business, and they were gracious enough to invite me out to dinner, and I met them in person along with their spectacular friends. It's amazing how people of a feather flock together. I was just loving all the conversations about peptides, healthy eating, hormone optimization, everything. I was like, I could sit here for hours.
It is awesome. It's
awesome.
So cool that we're in an age where we truly get to redefine what aging is, right?
Yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
And so for my listeners, on this episode of Age is Irrelevant, we are going to blow up the narrative of what it means to be a woman over 50, because let's be honest, somewhere along the way, women were told to shrink, slow down, accept the weight gain, the fatigue, the hormonal chaos, and just call it aging. Well, not here and not anymore. Today's guest, Monica Campbell, is leading a movement of women who are done playing small. She's a powerful voice in the world of hormones, menopause, peptides, and strength training, and she's helping women rewrite the rules in midlife and beyond. We're talking about building muscle after menopause, taking control of your hormones, optimizing your body with cutting-edge tools, and stepping into a version of yourself that is stronger, sharper, and more confident than ever. This isn't about going back to who you were. This is about becoming who you were always meant to be.
And enjoying the process.
Yes. And if you're ready to stop accepting and start thriving, this conversation is you. So we're going to get into it. Please welcome the beautiful, bold, brilliant, and unstoppable Monica Campbell.
I'm cheering for myself.
I love it. So Monica, I have so much to talk to you about all the above. So I'm just going to jump right in.
Yeah, let's do it.
So first and foremost, what does it really mean to age powerfully as a woman
in today's world?
I think one is not accepting the narrative that's fed to us, which is as we get older, we're worth less. We're in an age where so many people think that youth is where the riches are, right? Like, you have older men that want to have a dime piece next to them, a younger woman, because it creates this sense of like, yeah, I'm the man kind of thing,
You're
right?
right. Yep.
And it's not that. It's really truly owning who you are, loving the experience to be you at any version, because we're all getting older and that comes with acceptance. You got to accept you're getting older, but it doesn't mean that you have to slow down. It means that you can truly, like, it's like a flower, you're just blossoming and you're becoming more and more beautiful as time progresses.
Right, right. Great answer. So why do you think that so many women today feel invisible after 50? And how do we go about possibly rewriting that narrative?
I think that's a really good question because what I see, so I worked in real estate for many years and I've I had to be a hustler in my younger years with my three younger kids. And I would always observe women that were stay at home moms, and there was part of me that envied that because I had to be the hustler. But I would observe and notice that they would always place themselves last. So there wasn't time for working out. There wasn't time for putting themselves as a priority. And what happens after so many years of doing that, you're never places. So when you're really you're faced with that point of like, wait, I'm over 50. Now I feel like I don't have the energy. I don't feel great about myself. It feels like there's such a long road ahead, but there's no time like the present to start any journey. So if a woman has placed themselves as the last priority, and which I think a lot of women do, especially like, I'm a caregiver type, so I've done that throughout my life. But the one thing I always did was I always put exercise as a priority because that was my outlet. And I think that, everybody has some kind of an outlet, any woman does, whether it's your kids, whether it's, TV, whether there's some kind of an outlet. And if you allow yourself to place yourself as that priority, then it's going to help you evolve more, especially as you become older. Because you know what, this whole getting older thing, it can get pretty scary, let me tell you.
Yeah.
When you start looking in the mirror and you start seeing the changes, you're like, oh shit.
Yes. Yes. I've made that comment several times.
And I think it comes down to too, like looking at yourself with loving eyes. I practice quite often when I see myself, like, I love me some Monica. I love me. It's like continually like practicing that self inner voice that is uplifting rather than demeaning. Too many times we're our worst critic. And when you can learn how to be your best advocate, then it makes life so much more fun and so much more um, just enjoyable.
Right, right. And that leads me into this next question, which is going to be tied right in. I think so many women have all these limiting beliefs,
Mhm.
and it really holds them back. I mean, I can't help but wonder how they get into that mindset.
I think I think there's a lot that goes with that. I mean, a lot of it is programming from our childhood. I was raised by a mom who was a Mexican immigrant, and my father left when my youngest brother was 3 weeks old. So my mom raised four kids on her own that she had in 3 years.
Oh my word.
When we were growing up, I had this perception that I wasn't worthy, that I was less than. So, you carry that with you through the years until you bring the spotlight of awareness to it. And you realize it's like my dad's always said, when you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, then you'll change.
Hmm.
And it's crucial because you got to observe something in order to change it. And if you're not in the awareness that you're doing that to yourself, then it's challenging to change it and to improve from it. So that to me is like the first key is like, okay, where are you now? Are you your worst critic? If you are, what are you willing to do to change that, to shift it, to be better, to enjoy the experience? Because the way I see it, honestly, it's like there's only one you. Like you get this beautiful opportunity to be you in this lifetime. What a freaking gift. There's no one else that has that chance. So why not treat it as a gift rather than a curse?
I love that. I love that statement. That's That's like a write down statement. I need to definitely write that down. And so you're right, because if people, mentally and emotionally, we need to do the shift of this anti-aging to like pro longevity. I
Mhm.
think, right now, if you listen to all the podcasts, and I'm sure you do, because I'm a podcast junkie also, like for example, muscle is the key to longevity. Women, need to, if they haven't already, it doesn't matter what age you are, start lifting weights,
Exactly.
and not only for health benefits, but for, bone density, and just, I mean, overall, muscle as far as aging goes.
Right. It
Um,
helps strengthen your bones. Think about like the women that are concerned about osteoporosis. Like, why aren't you weight resistance training? Why aren't you doing something that's going to cause you to build muscle so that you can have a higher chance of preventing that? And that's, I don't know why women like, look, I get it. I went to the Olympia last year in October. And I think some people will get a misconception of what it means to build muscle. Like I see this women at the Olympia that honestly take a high amount of steroids to look the way they do. And they sound like men because of the high amount of steroids they take. That's not what we're aiming for. We're aiming for longevity. We're aiming for health. We're aiming for to be able to move through this life experience with ease, strength, and muscle is sexy. Like look at women
it's
that it's totally sexy. Like I love being in my 50s, rocking muscle and feeling great about it. Like there's nothing wrong with having a muscular toned physique. And stop comparing yourself to women that are taking high amounts of steroids because they're looking for a different look. They want to be more masculine, more like big. I don't. I'm a small framed woman who has lean muscle.
Yes, and you were rocking it the other night. I mean, your muscles were just popping. You looked amazing.
I was playing girlfriend. I play girlfriend when Jay and I go away because at home I'm wife, mother, and so when we go away, I'm girlfriend.
Yeah, that's great. I love that. And also too, I mean, when you look like that and you feel like that, it's a whole confidence thing too.
Mhm.
I mean, it totally boosts your confidence. I mean, just even walking into a place knowing that you feel good about yourself. I mean, that's, versus walking in and being kind of ashamed and, running to a corner or something. So,
Yeah. When I was younger, I still remember I was young because I hated myself when I was younger. I hated. And I remember I used to walk like this all the time and I would look down. I was so afraid that somebody would want to look into my eyes and that they would ask me a question because I didn't want to have to answer it. And now like being able to walk into a place and feeling good about who I am, that's been years of applied effort, imprinting into myself that I'm worthy of rocking that and loving it, loving the experience because wherever Jay and I go, people will look at us weird. Like they look at us like we're aliens because we're fit. Which why do we have to be looked at weird because we're fit? That should be the norm. More
mhm.
people should be striving to be fit than to be unhealthy because we're in a society now that people run to their doctor and say, "Doctor, how can I be healthy?" As opposed to owning it for themselves, taking responsibility for who they are, and knowing that they can take responsibility for their own health rather than because my dad was like that. Doctor, tell me what's wrong with me. Well, pretty soon they told him what was wrong and they killed him.
Mm. Yeah, you're 1,000% correct. 1,000% correct. I'm going to switch over to menopause and hormones
Okay.
because right now it seems like the biggest misconceptions about menopause, that women believe it's just, they willfully go through all this suffering that's just not
Mhm.
necessary, and then
Mhm.
they develop this, attitude mentally, and physically about, oh, it's just menopause, and it's once again a matter of just accepting it versus trying to be proactive.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
It's a good point because you know how many times I've heard women say, it all goes downhill from here. It
Yeah,
ain't,
yeah.
it ain't gonna get any better than this, honey. And I always, to me, I always question, like, really? It's like when I had my kids, I remember, so I'm from a Mexican family, and it was always like, when you have kids, forget it. It's over for your body. It's downhill from there. And I was like, really? Does it have to be that way? And so I didn't accept that narrative, and we don't have to accept the narrative for that menopause, because we can rock our ideal self in menopause, especially with hormones. Okay, look, we're in a society that we're filled with toxicity. We have our phones at our disposal at all times. We're in front of computers. We're everywhere we go, we're being slammed with something. And you think about even plastic water bottles,
Yeah, yeah.
it's everywhere. So we got to do what's necessary to make sure that we're allowing our bodies to function as optimally as possible, which is why I'm on hormones. Um, I'm testosterone injections. I take progesterone. I take estrogen. I mean, I'm going to do what's necessary for myself so that I can thrive in my last chapter. Because let's face it, I know this is my last chapter, and I'm going to rock it until I breathe my last breath. And hormones is the key to doing that in a way that you can do it productively and you can feel good. Oh my God, to feel good as you're doing it. Yes.
No, I agree. I'm 68 and I'm the same way. I mean, even looking ahead, I mean, even when I'm 70, I don't have any plans unless something, health-wise happens. I don't have any plans on going off my
No.
HRT because not only it doesn't make you feel good, but your skin, your hair, your nails, your libido. I mean, there's so many positive things. And granted, there are women out there who cannot take HRT due to possibly breast cancer, estrogen related, things and stuff like that. But there are homeopaths out there who I think can guide you through more naturalistic approaches that could possibly help you alleviate some of these unwanted side effects, unwanted belly fat, etc. So, I mean, there are options out there, even for women who cannot take HRT. But I'm shocked at how many women will talk to me about, oh, I'm this, I'm that. I can't understand why I'm getting this. And I'm like, well, have you had your hormone, had a hormone panel done? And they're like, no, what's that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, yeah, no, go to your doctor and tell them that you want a hormone panel done. And you would, I can tell you right now, it's all going to be like zero across the board. And just tell them that you'd like to start, hormone therapy. I
Right.
went to my OBGYN who I'd been going to for 15 years. And I was like, I'm a professional bodybuilder now. I really want to get back into hormone replacement therapy. And we did a hormone panel and she said, no, this is where you're supposed to be at your age. Yeah. And
Just
I said,
accept mediocrity. It's okay. Just
and
suffer.
she's a professional. I said, this is unacceptable. I'm trying to build muscle and, I have other stuff going on too that I'm not happy about. And I said, and I'm getting this like unexplained belly fat. I think that might be a lack of estrogen. And she goes, well, you should try cool sculpting.
Oh no. No. Did you fire her?
Yes. I walked out of the office and I
Yeah.
never went back.
And
Yeah.
that's the key. It's like working with, and I think that's really the sad thing is that if you're going to your primary care physician or your OBGYN and you're expecting them to be a hormone specialist, they're not.
Hmm.
I know so many women that are put on the wrong thyroid, for instance. And if you're put on the wrong thyroid, it can be detrimental for your health
It can
because
be.
it can cause weight gain. You can feel worse. I mean, some women lose their hair. There's, you got to work with someone who knows what they're doing. And it's like anything else. You go with them, you play it out, you see what it's like, you interview them, you see what the results are. You're testing it out for yourself. You got to get in tuned with your body. That's another thing that I think a lot of women are not in tune with their body. So when things are happening, they're just dismissing and dismissing and dismissing. Oh, well, maybe this is no, know what's working for you and know what's not. And then when you report back, you could say, well, I'm feeling like this and that. What can we alter so I can feel better? Because right now I'm still feeling sluggish. I don't feel sexy. I'm dry, down there. When I want to have sex, it hurts, like whatever. Those are things that you don't have to suffer in silence about. You can work with a professional. They can help guide you through it. And then you can feel great. I work with a great doctor who is so good about keeping that open communication. And he's not about, no, this is not right for you. And no, it's like, okay, let's test this out. Let's see how you feel. And then we can progress from there. And
Right.
that to me is the best relationship because you want to work with someone who's not continually telling you like what they said to you is like, no, that's normal. What you're telling me that feeling like shit is normal? No, thank you.
Yeah. I mean, women have to be an advocate for themselves, really. And I go to a hormone specialist. I mean, I have an OBGYN, a new one, but I don't talk to her about peptides or about HRT or anything. So it's just like, I go in there, get my yearly exams, and that's pretty much it. So,
Yeah. And honestly, it's better to work with someone, even if you have to cash pay, because a lot of people think about, oh, I'd rather go through my insurance benefits to get it. But then you're dealing with all the red tape. If you're dealing with someone in the insurance protocol, you're not going to get the best results because they have to follow a certain protocol in order for you to work with them. And a lot of times it's like, do what I say, and that's it.
right.
You don't have a voice. The key is, as we're getting older, be okay with saying and having a voice. You matter. You are worthy. If that person is not willing to listen to you, go find someone else who is.
That's true. That's true. So you and your husband are huge into biohacking and also peptide therapy. And so I just want to talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
For someone who is new to peptides, can you tell us what they are and why do you think they're gaining so much attention now, especially with women our age?
So peptides are, so I like to think of peptides as, because our bodies already have peptides. Now, when you take a peptide, it's basically instructing your body. It's a messenger telling your body that this is where to send it to. So like, for example, GHKCU is really big around among women for skin, for hair, for healing. And I think that they're so big these days because people are actually getting results. Whereas for the longest time, like you said, a lot of people were struggling and attempting to figure things out. When Jay and I first got together, I remember he put me on ipamorelin, changed my physique, like so much so that people thought I was on steroids. I got leaner. I built lean muscle. At that time, I was having to deal with divorce proceedings because my ex was just prolonging everything because I was a breadwinner, and he thought that I was just eventually going to say, "Oh no, forget it." And I kept saying, "No, like let's just finish this." But finally, when I said enough after 2.5 years, and I started dating Jay, he finally took it seriously and actually started progressing with the divorce. And in the divorce proceedings, he kept saying, well, she has needles around my kids and she's taking steroids. And I kept saying, I'm not taking steroids. And you got to remember, this was in 2012.
Oh, wow.
This was when, peptides was just, it wasn't as well known as it is now.
Right.
And I'm like, we couldn't really say I was taking peptides because it was really gray back then. Like it's not legal, but it's not illegal. But even if I said peptides, they wouldn't believe me because they thought I was taking steroids. But I built lean muscle. I mean, in my early 40s, I think it's the best time for ipamorelin to start ipamorelin because you're still creating your own growth hormone. Like people our age that our bodies aren't, creating its own growth hormone. I think growth hormone is better because you're giving it what it doesn't have. But there's like a peptide for pretty much anything, like BPC 157 for healing. You can mix that with TB 500. I know we were talking about FLGR. FLGR is like the new FLGR 242 is the newest and most exciting thing coming out because we're noticing lean muscle. Women are getting leaner as well, but you got to eat and you got to know how to take it properly. And I think that's where some people kind of get a little skittish, like, well, what am I doing it right? But you got to work out, you got to eat, and you got to make sure that you're dosing it properly because you have to inject into fat. You can't inject into the muscle because of the binder that is associated with it.
Right, exactly. How can women advocate for themselves when they go to a doctor and they just get dismissed? What do you think are some of the challenges that they can walk in there to their doctor's office? I mean, for me, I think everything that I've been through at this point, I think I would recommend even going on to PubMed because back then, they were saying, oh, if you take, peptide, right, excuse me, HRT over 60, you're going to get cancer. And, and that was the thing. And that's one of the reasons why my doctor was just like, oh, I'm not giving it to you. And I just thought, well, I can go on to PubMed now because that's all fallacy. I mean, new studies have come out, right? So, I mean, to me, if you're wanting to do something like that, I mean, go in loaded. I mean, that's what I do with my oncologist. I told you guys I have leukemia. And I started telling him that I wanted to start taking peptides, and he's just a normal, guy and not an expert in peptides. Said he knows nothing about peptide therapy, and I said, "Here you go." And I said, here's what I'm taking. And I said, I want you to be up on this because I want to let you know, I want to be transparent with you. And he's like, great, thank you. So,
So you're educating him.
yeah. But when you're a doctor in that realm and you only have 15 minutes, to talk to somebody. I mean, I'm sure we get along great. I've had this diagnosis for 12 years now, and knock on wood, no treatment yet. But I really
And you look
believe it's
fabulous.
oh, well, thank you. But I believe it's the peptides. I do biregulator peptides also, which is like a subset of peptides. And just like you, clean eating, healthy eating, working out, sleep optimization. This R ring has changed my life as far as sleep. Because I get like, oh my God, I didn't get enough sleep last night, or what is it, or my HRB, what's going on? And it'll tell me when I'm getting sick. Like your body's under a strain, I'm like going, oh, I need to start loading up on this vitamin C or some other, ginger, olive extract or whatever. So it's pretty funny. But yeah, so it's just little tiny things that make the biggest difference, I think.
It does. And I think that if you're working with, like in your case, where you're dealing with an illness that you have a doctor you're working alongside with, it comes down to you educating them. You're going to have to do your own research. You're going to have your own voice, like we said. And I know that with every fiber of my being, it comes down to having a sense of value and worth with yourself, because too many people place doctors on a pedestal and they think that this doctor is more valuable than them because they have this education. They're not. They're another human being attempting to figure out things. They call it a medical practice for a reason. They're still attempting to figure things out in a realm that things are always evolving. There's only one person who knows what it's like to live in your body, and that's you.
Mhm.
So until you can relay that to that doctor, they're never going to listen to you. They're just going to push you aside because, like you said, 15 minutes, that's all they have. So you got to go in there knowing that you're worthy to be heard, and you do it in a way that is not demeaning, like, hey, doctor, F you, this is what I want. You come from a place of, this is what I know. I need your help because I want to be better. And I know you're my strongest advocate. And that's why I'm here in front of you. And then you work with them instead of like, I think sometimes some people will go in like wanting to demean the doctor or saying, you don't know, or work with them. Talk to, we're always selling in some form or fashion. So if you're going to work with it, like, for example, you're working with the doctor that you're working with, know how they receive information and present the information in a way that they're going to be willing to hear it. So you can say, like, if it's a doctor that likes to know that they know everything, it's like, doctor, I know you know a lot. And I know that you know what's best. And this is why I'm presenting this to you, because if I'm presenting this to you, I want you to be able to look through this as much as I have, because I trust you and I'm here in front of you because I want to get the best treatment possible. And then if somebody hears that, you don't think they're going to be like, oh, screw you, I got
Yeah,
the next
you're
patient.
right.
They're going to be like, if they have a heart. And if they don't have a heart,
Next.
exactly. Because, we all deserve the best type of treatment. If you're not getting it, go elsewhere.
Amen. Amen. So, are peptides safe for long-term use, especially for aging women?
1000% yes. Yes, I've been using them since, like I said, 2012. Feel the best. I actually feel like I'm feeling better and getting better as I get older, which feels so freaking amazing. Because I remember thinking, like, back when my mom was my age and she was kind of like slowing down and like, going to the doctor more often. And I'm at a stage where it's like, we travel so much, we do so much, and we have the energy to be able to continue to do so. And I'm 54, I'll be 55 at the end of this year. And it just feels freaking awesome to realize that I'm creating a new narrative of what it means to be aging for my own kids. And that feels friggin' fantastic.
Right, right. I think the great thing about peptides too, as far as um, side effects too, it's just like really, there's so many peptides that you can take when there's zero side effects.
Right. And I think the key too is, so remember, when you're doing something, you don't want to take all of these peptides at once. You think about your number one main goal, whether it's losing weight, whether it's beauty, whether it's healing. Start with one, know what it's like. Because I use research peptides because I'm my own best experiment. And I start with one. So like when I started FLGR, I started just that one so I could know what I'm feeling, what is going on with my body, and how I'm evolving through it. And then I'll start another one later. I don't start 20 peptides at once and then be like, oh my God, I feel like shit. Like, what's going on? Because then it's hard to figure out what's doing what.
Right.
So start one, assess, give yourself a couple weeks. Don't this whole thing of like putting all these things at once and figuring like, oh, this is great. No, 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 no. Take your time, get to know what's working. I feel like using peptides has allowed me to get to know my body better because I'll pause, I pay attention, and I know basically like what I'm putting into my body and how it's affecting me. And that feels phenomenal.
Right. And I'm with you 1,000%. And while we're talking about peptides, could you share what you're taking right now?
FLGR 242, Clotho. I microdose Retta. I take growth hormone. And then I'll take GHKCU a couple times a week just because I like to have it for beauty and skin. And then depending on whether or not I'm dealing with aches or pains from whatever it is, traveling,
Uh-huh.
sometimes like my hip will feel off. I'll do the glow peptide, which is GHKCU, BPC, and TB500. I'll inject that a few times a week, depending on what level of pain I have in any given area. And yeah, that's what I'm taking right now.
Does the
But
GHKCU, I started that and I had to stop because the aching and the pain associated with that injection was just too much for me.
so add more bacterial static water.
I
Add
tried
more.
that and
You tried that?
it still didn't, and then people were saying, well, inject it, somewhere else in your body versus your subcutaneous fat in your abdomen. But yeah, nothing worked. So
Well, I did that. So I started the glow. So I don't know if you've ever done the CO2 laser on your face.
I have,
So I did that, and that's not a fun treatment.
yeah.
But I got a pen, so the pens make it so much easier. And I was thinking to myself one day, like, look, if I have my face that I'm desiring this area to heal faster, wouldn't it make sense for me to do the injection closer to my face? So I started injecting it right here with the pen,
Oh, wow.
and so cool. I got so many compliments after I healed through that. They're like, wow, you're glowing. I'm like, I love it.
I never even thought about that. I mean, I do have like some knee issues. Like I have the cartilage, like I have no cartilage on my right knee. It's totally worn. And so I'll do like TB500, but I inject it right there, at the knee, just to me, because I think the closer you inject to the injury. I mean, I even had like a partially torn rotator cuff, which I was, doing some therapy in my shoulder too. And now I feel so much better. I mean, I don't really have any pain. I need to get another MRI just out of curiosity to see if anything's healed because I feel so much better.
Do you use the pen at all? Have you used the pens?
I haven't.
Do you want me to show you one?
Yeah.
Okay, hold on. Oh, I have one right here. Okay, so these are the pens,
Okay.
and this is what's really cool. You see the needle? I don't know if you can see the needle. It's so tiny,
Right.
super, super tiny, but this makes it super easy to inject into areas where typically it can be painful. And this is what I would just right here. So you like put it to the area that you desire it to be for
Right.
injecting, and then you just push it and you inject, and super tiny little needle. But when you travel with these, you have to take off the top because it leaks.
Oh,
So then you just take off the top.
right.
Yeah. This right here, I think this is going to be the future because it makes it so much easier for people when it comes to injecting
Yeah.
and no pain. Absolutely no pain.
Well, the first time I injected myself, it was with testosterone, and I was just scared to death. I've hated needles my entire life, and so finally, I got up the courage, and I was like, and I'm like, that's it.
Well, girl, I'm
I
like
couldn't feel anything, and I was just like,
I'm,
oh my God, all those years of terror, and I'm like, that's it. And so,
no, I'm the kind of person that when they take blood out, I can't, and even now, even with all the injections that I'm doing, I can't look at them taking
me
blood
too.
out
The
of me.
same. I
I'm
cannot look.
always looking the other
Yeah.
direction.
Yep.
But when you use things like this or a smaller needle, like I don't know why people use harpoon needles,
I
and
don't.
What is
But
that?
even
No,
the little insulin needles are so small. I mean, you really, I can't even feel those. So, but
these
anyway,
and look, we have a group that's called Fully Optimized Health. That's absolutely amazing because we have like-minded people like us that are looking to optimize their life in some form or fashion, and so many super smart people in that group that share ideas on what they're doing, what works, what doesn't work, and that's where we share all the different techniques, tools, and everything in
sweet.
there as far as yeah.
And let's talk about that real quick. I think that's a membership, isn't it?
Yeah, that's a membership. People can join. It's all online. What's amazing is on Monday nights, we have a call centered specifically around women. And so we'll discuss some kind of a topic with a special guest that will come on. So, like last week, we had Dr. Michael Fortunato, who's my doctor for hormones. And actually, he's going to be featured once a month as Ask Your Doctor in the group. So, we're going to interview him once a month for people that have questions about their hormones, what they're experiencing, what are some tips that he can give, obviously without knowing he can't really necessarily tell you you have to do XYZ, but he can give very knowledgeable information to people. Like the last call, we were discussing progesterone and how underdosed a lot of women are with progesterone. So there's so many great things. But that group, there's probably close to 800 people in the group now. Super phenomenal people. I would say the average age is 50 plus. We have people in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s that are rocking it, that are doing, I'm telling you, Helen, you should see some of these people. Oh my God, their results are so freaking amazing. And they inspire me on what it means about getting older and doing it in a way that is optimal energy with vitality. It's like, yes, it's like we got to continue to feed ourselves evidence that getting older doesn't mean slowing down, because we're constantly fed of like, oh, especially us women, you're worth less as you get older. You're not this young little spry chicken anymore.
Hmm.
Like, heck no, we're actually worth more as we get older because we have wisdom, we have beauty, we have substance. I'm sorry, but the young chicks don't have nothing on us.
Right. And if you're interested in that membership, I think you can go to jcampbell.com and you can
Yes.
join the membership group there, right?
Yeah, it's called Fully Optimized Health. And so many more things are to come. I don't think I can say a lot of the different things that are coming, but just trust me, there's some phenomenal things to come when it comes to health optimization and the protocols that we're using. And I'm just super excited.
Definitely, you definitely get your money's worth for sure.
100%. It's fabulous.
Okay, let's talk about weight training. So, just looking at your physique, it's very obvious you both look amazing and you both weight train. And even when you were here, you were like, when we were trying to figure out when we were going to get together, you were adamant about we're training, we're doing this, the training, training, training. You're kind of like me. I want to get up in the morning and train and get that out of the way. Um, but anyway, why is weight training like a non-negotiable for women after 50?
Build muscle. Build muscle. Now, the thing is, I think what a lot of women also have to understand is, so I use it as a way to get connected to my body too. So when I'm training, I'm focused on my breath, I'm present with my body, and I'm feeling the muscle contraction. I think some people will go into training with ego and momentum and they want to like, oh, I'm lifting heavy. It's not, especially at our age, over 50, it's not about lifting heavy. It's about focusing on the muscle contraction. I use positive muscle failure. So when I'm training, I'm focused, so let me give you an example. I'm just going to show you like bicep, right? So if I'm using a weight, I'm holding on the muscle contraction, slowly going back, holding on the muscle contraction, slowly going back. Then what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to work that muscle without having to use super heavy weight. So you can even do that with a band. You can do that like with a resistance band. And that is the best type of workout for us as we're aging, because less likely to get hurt. And when you experience an injury over 50, it takes longer for you to recover. So the goal here is building muscle in a way that is going to create strength and not injury.
Right.
So I don't like free squat with a bar, because that it's more likely that you can hurt yourself. Even if you go like the wrong twitch or something, it's so much easier to hurt your back. So I focus on things that are going to build muscle in a way that is going to create strength, not injury.
Right. And I agree with that too.
And oh, and then so we do some form of cardio every day as well. Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday are my fasted cardio days. So first thing in the morning, we'll do fasted cardio. And then we'll usually do some type of cardio post training. So maybe like 15 minutes post training. But we do definitely do cardio because we want to be lean as well. We want to have lean muscle.
Right. And then there's women like several people that I know, and I get on their case because they go to the gym, they lift weights, and then they jump on the treadmill and they're on there for an hour, or they're walking 5 or 6 miles a day. And I'm like, you've wasted all that weight training now.
Yeah.
It's just, and so what are your thoughts on people, women especially, doing too much cardio?
I think like you said, you're going to diminish. The whole key is building muscle. So yes, cardio is great, but you got to know when to do it and how to do it. And I don't, so like everything that I do is very intentional. I'm not running on the treadmill. I'm walking at an elevated incline. I can do like some hit things where it's like I speed it up, slow it down. But everything I do is intentional to where I feel like I'm enhancing my body, not depleting it. And so like Sunday, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, the cardio is about 45 minutes. And then after training on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, it's 15 to 20 minutes max. And it's only walking. Or actually, I do the Stairmaster at the gym, and I don't do it like, I'm not like, I'm just
Right.
doing it so I can keep that sweat.
Right. Right. What do you think the biggest training mistake is for women over 50?
Training with ego and momentum. I think that, and then I think also not doing it. And then, okay, so here's another one of my little quirks. If you're going to go to the gym, don't go to the gym to just show your cutest outfit. Go to the gym to work, to actually apply yourself and work your body. It's not about going there to look cutesy. When I go, I don't have any makeup on. I have my hair up on top of my head, and I'm there for one thing only, which is to work my body. And that's what I do. So don't go to the gym for a fashion show. Leave the fashion show for another time. I'm not saying you don't have to look cute. Look cute if you got to look cute, but don't allow your looking cute to diminish the level of your workout, because you want to go there with intention. You want to go there for a certain purpose, which is to work your body and to work it productively. So yeah, don't do too much cardio. I know a lot of women like to do like the classes, which is fine, but add some kind of strength training to it. You have to do strength training. If you want to be optimal as you get older, it's crucial that you do some kind of weight resistance training.
Well, especially like I can speak personally that I've had three really big falls over in Europe in my 60s because of cobblestone streets,
Oh,
to the
wow.
point where I one time I went to the hospital just to get x-rays because I thought I may have broken my elbow or even my ankle. Um, and the doctor was, and I was over in Europe all three of these times. And the doctor was like, I don't know what you're doing, but you didn't break anything. He goes, you should be
That's awesome.
upstairs in a room getting ready for surgery. And I
Dude.
was just like, yeah. I said, I lift weights, I'm strong. And I think about that all the time, that every time I've taken these falls, I mean, yes, I've had muscle strains and it took me some time, but one of the times I was on a family vacation, just got to Portugal, literally dropped our stuff off at the hotel, went on a little tour, 2 hour tour, walking to lunch, and I missed a curb and did a face plant. Now
Oh
I'm
man.
in Portugal for like 3 hours, and all of a sudden it's like,
Oh
oh my
girl.
God, oh my God. And my brother was like, oh, we're going to call an ambulance. I'm like, no, we're going to go to lunch. I need a glass of wine, and then I'll assess. And I was like, you know what, guys, I think I want to go to the pharmacy. I want to get an ankle brace. I want to go back to the hotel. I want to ice and elevate. And then I'll go to the hospital in the morning and I'll get an x-ray. And they went on their little sightseeing tour. And I went to the hospital, which was amazing. Medicine over in Europe is completely different. I was in and out of there seeing a doctor twice, x-rays and medication, $150. But anyway, yeah, nothing broken. But it was just like we went on this riverboat cruise, and there was a walking, portion every day. And me and my little ankle brace, we were out there walking. I
You
wasn't
girl.
walking as fast as I did, but I thought every night I was like, I'm so grateful that, I lift weights, because that could have ruined my vacation.
100%. There's so many people that fall. And honestly, as we get older, that's one of the worst ways to go out is falling, because there's so many people that are weak and then they fall, they break their hip, and it just starts going like this because they just have had years of neglect. They haven't taken care of themselves, and then they fall and it makes it even worse. So, and then you hear women, oh, well, I take my calcium. That's not going to help you if you're not building muscle.
No, you're right. And I did read a study one time that said people over the age of 60, like at 60% of those people who do take a fall end up dying, not because of the fall, just because of what happens, transitions. You go into the hospital and then your immune system is so poor that you contract pneumonia or something, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
I had a relative that happened to, so I can attest to that. And it's like I'm not going down that road.
No,
So
I had an uncle that was in poor health and he had diabetes and he would drink continuously. He never improved his lifestyle, and he stubbed his foot on a sprinkler. And then when he stubbed his foot, it ended up where he developed an infection, and then they had to cut off his toe. And then once they cut off the toe, they cut off the foot because it got another infection. Then from the foot to the knee, from the knee to the leg, then he died. And you would have thought, like, look, like life is always giving us messages and signals. And if we're not willing to pause and take a look at it and take responsibility, have an awareness of like, okay, this is happening, then it's going to be worse as time goes on. You can't just dismiss. You got to stop and say, okay, if this is happening right now, what am I willing to do so that I can improve? Because it's not going to get better as you get older, taking supplements and, oh, okay, then I'm just going to not eat as much, but you're not taking care of yourself in other ways. It's not going to get better. We have to be way more proactive as we get older, especially over 50, than we ever were. Because remember, in your 20s and 30s, you think you're invincible. And then in your 50s and 60s, you start thinking, well, shit can happen. What can I do to prevent some shit from happening?
yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true. Um, so let's talk about metabolism, fat loss, and nutrition since we're on this kind of subject. It just seems like fat loss seems harder after 50, but what's really happening metabolically?
I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with hormones. One, when your hormones are out of whack, it's harder for women. I mean, I think especially, like I have 3 kids biologically. I know that when you have kids, after kids, your body does change dramatically. And as you get older, sometimes it can feel like you're getting weaker if you're not working towards it. So, like we were talking about, hormones is crucial, because once you get like we always say, no matter what you do, peptides, anything, get your hormones optimized, get them at a way where you know that you're good. You have hormone replacement therapy. That's your foundation. And then everything else can build from there, because you can take your retatrutide or GLP-3 and you can microdose that and you can lose the weight. There's so many ways nowadays to drop the weight that it's almost like too easy. And which is why you have some people that had like the Ozempic phase and they weren't doing it properly. They were taking
Hmm.
too
Right.
high of a dose and there wasn't a lot of education on it. It's not so obviously Ozempic is not the one to take, but when you know what you're doing with what you're taking and you're doing it in a way, like my husband wrote a book, Metabolic Awakening, which is around using GLP-3 in a way that's productive and that you can drop the weight and be healthy. And if you get this book and you see the results of some of these people where they've dropped the weight and they build muscle, and a lot of them, I think most of them in the book are over 50. Some of them are 60s and 70s. So we have so many more things available to us today than we've ever had to not be obese.
Right. And to me, that's very exciting. I think that's
Oh my God.
it's just so exciting.
It's
Um,
phenomenal
yeah. No,
because we don't have to accept it. And I think, okay, so like, look, I get there's a lot of things out nowadays that's body positivity, right? Which, yes, I'm all about learning to love oneself on your journey as you're progressing. But if you're not healthy, body positivity is not helping you, because you got to face the facts that you're not healthy. Being overweight is not productive for you as you age. You're causing more harm to yourself than you are helping yourself. So it's crucial to keep yourself as lean as possible. Obviously we don't want like Ozempic face. That's not what we want. That's not the goal. The goal is lean and lean muscle.
Right, right. I agree. Insulin resistance, that's something really big, especially midlife now too. And I think it plays a part in midlife weight gain. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, I've had my husband Jay, who's guided me along the way when it comes to insulin resistance. Like we've been on metformin for well over 10 years. I know some people say that they can't tolerate it, but I mean, metformin is actually like one of the best anti-aging drugs. And I know a lot of people that are diabetic will take it. But if you notice, a lot of them that start on metformin, they'll drop the weight because it helps with that. So I would say, definitely look into metformin if you're not taking it, or look into something similar to it. I know that there's alternatives for some people, but we've been on metformin for well over 10 years and
Wow,
love it.
that's
Do you take
great.
metformin yourself?
No, I do not.
No? Yeah. I don't know. You probably would want to check, especially if you're dealing with, but that to me it's been great. And I take
Awesome.
it AM and PM.
Here's something that's really, I think so many women are going through right now. And when I was online fitness coaching, every single one of my clients at the time, every single woman does A, not eat enough, and
Oh,
B, does not eat enough protein.
yes.
And that's the key.
Yes.
That's the key to muscle building. That's the key to longevity. I can see the big smile on your face. So,
Yeah. And that's what we speak a lot about that, because with FLGR242, that is key in using that peptide. Is it's crucial that you eat enough and that you eat enough protein. I think too many women fear, especially if they have lost weight, they fear about getting it back. And so they don't eat enough. I don't limit myself when it comes to carbs or protein because I know that I'm looking to build. And I'm not saying build as in like, I want to be a big, jacked
yeah,
woman. I'm
no,
talking about I want to create muscle. If I want to create muscle, I got to eat enough protein.
right.
And like my sister who's vegan, I continually remind her, I'm like, Linda, you got to eat more protein. And she's like, I'm just going to eat this kind of protein, that she's not getting enough protein. And so it's harder for her to build muscle because she's not eating the proper amount of protein. So I would definitely say like work on getting yourself in a position where you're okay with eating more, but eating like in a way that you know is going to benefit your body. So I'm not eating like I don't know if at dinner you saw Jay and I eat a lot of bread. We don't limit ourselves on carbs. Um, but be okay with eating, at times where you're eating a little bit more, the carbs, the proteins, sweet potatoes, we eat all kinds of different proteins, anywhere from the fishes, the meats. And it kind of sucks these days too, because you really don't know what kind of meat you're getting. So if you can get the grass fed beef, so that at least you're getting some, decent kind of beef.
Yeah, that's what I do for sure. Yeah, I'm a
Yeah.
big meat person, but yeah, I mean, and I mainly shop at Sprouts now. My biggest, I mean, and I mainly try to do everything organic, as much organic as possible.
But then it's
So,
tough too. Like, how do you know? Like, you see all these different things being posted as like, oh, is it really organic? Is it really this? Like, so you really don't know. And I really feel like at some point you just got to like, look, do the best you can, get the grass fed. And I'm really big on like when you're making food, like do it from a place of love and intention. Like you're imprinting it, like with some people, some women, as they're making the food for the family, they're stressed and in a hurry. Like, no, be present, create your meal from love and intention so that that's being infused into your meal as opposed to stress and anxiety. And because if it isn't the most optimal beef or fish or whatever it is, at least you're imprinting it with some love.
right.
that's
Yeah,
that's
and sometimes when you're traveling, especially too, sometimes you don't have that option. So,
Yeah, but then you do when it comes to when you like I think that there's a benefit for when you get your food to do like a little internal blessing of the food. I think that there's always a benefit to that because you don't know if the cook is stressed when they're doing something. I'm really big on like that energy kind of stuff, just like being present, blessing, and then eating it from a place of gratitude.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, because I mean, if you're going to be traveling, you got to do something that you're going to enhance whatever you're consuming.
Right. What are your thoughts on intermittent fasting and like other popular strategies? Do you think they're helpful or harmful?
If done correctly, they're good. Jay actually wrote a book on intermittent fasting too. But I do intermittent fasting, especially on my fasted cardio days. And I'm not looking to get leaner by any stretch. I like what it does for me cognitively, as far as like not being so hyper focused on like I have to eat. I used to be the kind that I have to eat first thing in the morning. If I don't eat first thing in the morning, then I can't think and my mind's just going crazy and I have to eat. Otherwise, I'm not good. And now I don't, especially on my fasted cardio days. I get up, I do some things, and then I'll do my fasted cardio and I don't eat until like after 1 p.m. I just feel so much better. I feel energized. I feel great. My thoughts I have more clarity. So there's lots more involved in it, intermittent fasting, more than just like for lean, it's like cognitive benefits.
Right, right. And your philosophy on sustainable fat loss versus quick fixes.
Um, I'm 100% sustainable fat loss. Quick fit, and I'll be honest, like even after having my 3 kids, I think that was probably the most challenging for me getting back to my pre-pregnancy weight. But I didn't have the knowledge that I had then. I've never been the kind of person that was obese or overweight, but I've always done what is necessary to stay as lean as possible. So I've always had sustainable weight loss, if that makes sense. Like even after I had my kids, after my third was where I had more of the weight gain, and it's tougher in the belly. After kids, I don't think your belly ever becomes what it was pre-pregnancy. And with 3 babies, and I have 0 hips, so my stomach was like out to here, and that's the biggest challenge, and I had an umbilical hernia with my daughter, so I don't think I'll ever have that tummy that I once had before kids, and it's just accepting like that's just where you're going to be.
Uh-oh.
What happened?
Okay. Where are you?
Did you lose me?
Yes. Hold on.
I see you.
Huh. Yeah, I don't see you.
I see you. I see your beautiful eyes.
Oh, oh gosh.
I wonder
All
what
right,
happened.
let's just keep going. Brain health, energy, and longevity. So, how can women protect their cognitive health as they age?
Cognitive health. I think peptides is really good to help with cognitive health. um I think you got to challenge yourself mentally and be okay with dealing with challenges. And I think as you deal with the challenges and you proceed through them, it really does strengthen your cognitive skills. Read. I think too many people don't read enough anymore. They're watching too many like YouTube videos. I love to read when I'm doing cardio. It helps me with passing the time. You got to do things out of the norm. So sometimes I'll write with my left hand. I'll brush my teeth with my left hand because, typically I'm right-handed. I'll walk a different way. I do things different. So I'm not always like in this like structured, patterned way of being, because we got to work our brains and we got to do things in a way that's going to challenge us. I love journaling. As I'm going through anything mentally, I sit down with pen and paper and I write things out and I look for solutions as I'm writing things out. That like to me strengthens my cognitive skills. I get out in nature, I ground, I do early morning sun or late sun. I think too many of us are afraid of the sun, and you gotta, if it's early sun, it's perfect. You're not going to get out in the midday sun and fry. Um, so I think that's like immensely helpful. And for women, for us, practicing your intuitive knowing. Intuition is like a muscle, and the more you practice trusting it, the more you're going to build it. And I also think that helps cognitive because you start to trust more of what you're going through as
Right.
opposed to dismiss, dismiss. And I feel like I'm getting wiser as I'm getting older. because I'm practicing all of these things to create strength, not just in my brain, but even in my like intuitive realm, if that makes
Right.
sense.
Yeah, it does. It really does. We talked about this earlier too, but I want to go back to it. How important is sleep in hormone balance and body composition, and how as women can we possibly improve it?
Oh my God, sleep. Okay, so this is how important sleep is. Jay and I have learned that when we go to hotels, you're not going to get the most comfortable bed or pillow all the time. So we travel with our own suitcase for our cooling blanket. We bring our two blankets, I mean our two pillows, and we bring a little air cleaner so that we have in the hotel room because sleep is the most overlooked component when it comes to aging optimally. You can't not get rest and expect to be the best version of yourself. You have. I used to think back in the day when my kids were younger. I remember thinking, "I'll catch up on sleep. I'll catch up on sleep." You know, because I had one son that was like sick a lot, and so I'd have to be up with him every 2 hours with breathing treatments and all these things. And I remember thinking to myself, like, "I'll catch up on sleep. I'll catch up on sleep." And as you get older, there's no catching up. There's no catching up. You got to get good sleep. So, and then at home, so we have the Samana bed at home, and then we have a chili pad where it you can have one side warm and one side cooler.
Mm.
That thing is literally the best blessing. And I feel like the heavens opened up and went, ah. We come home, it's like I actually create this like nighttime routine where I cycle myself down. We have a Bimini tub. Have you ever heard of the Bimini tub?
No.
It's oxygenated water. Oh my God. That's another moment. I'll usually soak in the Bimini, and then I have this like I cycle down. And so also like these red glasses,
Hmm.
these are really cool to have so that you get yourself ready for bed because we're exposed to all the different,
Right.
things that we're exposed to. So if you have like these glasses that you can wear like an hour to 2 hours before bed, because all the lighting that most of us have in our home, it's really unproductive, and your body is still not like it's not at that level to go and slow down for sleep. And then what I like to do before I go to sleep, I do like this little intentional thing, and then I'll like scan my body, what's going on with my body, see what's requiring attention. And as I'm falling asleep, I have like my hand on my heart, one hand on my heart, one hand on my stomach, and I'm intending what it is that I desire for myself as my sleep. Because like we don't realize that if you're falling asleep with stress and worry, that's what you're going to sleep with. So I practice with, okay, what is it that I desire as I'm falling asleep? And sometimes it's like if I want to have a message from like my mom or my dad that passed away, I'll talk to them and I say, okay, I'd love to see you in my dreams. And then when I wake up, I'll see if I remember if I got a message from them. Or it's, I feel like a little ache in here. So I'll remind my body that it knows how to heal. I thank it for the ability to heal. I thank myself, like my body, for knowing what it needs to do as I'm falling asleep. I thank my cells, and I practice my breathing, and I just fall asleep. It's really beautiful.
That's a really beautiful way to end the day. I love that.
It is so, and then if Jay comes next to me and he like snuggles up next to me, it's like, it's nice, but I have to go through my little routine first.
Hmm.
And I feel like I'm present with myself.
Right.
And I mean, what a gift it is to give yourself that time as you're falling asleep. And then another thing that you can do if you're a worrier or stressor, and I would do this a lot when I was working back in the day, which I call it a brain dump, where I would write out everything that I was concerned about, and then I would crumble it up and I'd give it to God. All right, God, this is for you to handle. So that it was like a way of dumping it.
Perfect. I like that too. A
Mhm.
few more questions, and then we'll go into a quick lightning round.
Ooh, ooh, ooh.
What does thriving over 50 look like to you beyond just physical health?
Oh, enjoying life, rocking it, like feeling so good to be me.
That's a great answer. I love that. And if you could give one piece of advice to every single woman entering her 50s, what would it be?
Oh, this is such a beautiful chapter. Enjoy it, evolve through it, embrace it and shine. There's no one else that gets this experience. So truly, truly honor it and evolve through it. I love it. It's just the best time ever.
No, I agree. I mean, my philosophy is that you took 50 years to acquire all this wisdom and knowledge, and now you have all of that to apply to your next chapter. And I just think that's just amazing. I think it
It
really
is.
is.
And I think it's so crucial for women over 50 to stop, to drop the baggage of the past. Meaning, like, if there's hurts or fears or things that you went through in the past, like, let it go. Don't carry that with you into your 50s, because this is a time for you to truly evolve into the most authentic version of you. And you cannot do that carrying the traumas of the past into your 50s. I could look back and say, oh, my dad was an alcoholic, and I had a horrible divorce, and I had to pay my ex, and I had all these things that went wrong. But if I'm carrying that into my 50s, I'm not going to truly enjoy my 50s because I'm carrying all that weight of the past.
Hmm.
Women have got to learn how to let go of the baggage of the past so that they can truly evolve into the most authentic version.
That's perfect. A great way to end that conversation. Okay, a couple of lightning round questions for you. Ready?
Let's go.
All right. I know what the answer for this is. Strength training or cardio?
Strength training.
Did I crash the podcast?
No, stop. Oh, he's
Yeah,
such
too
an
much.
attention whore.
Morning workout or evening workout?
Neither. We do midday.
Okay. One supplement you think more women over 50 should know about?
Primatine.
Oh, okay. Most underrated habit for healthy aging?
Thoughts.
Good answer. Good answer. Peptides, game changer or overhyped?
Game changer.
Favorite way to de-stress?
Journaling, meditation, being in nature, grounding, observing, soaking in my bimini tub.
What is harder for most women, nutrition, consistency, or mindset?
I think mindset.
Yeah, I agree 1,000%. One food you wish women would stop fearing?
Protein, meat.
Yeah, that's true.
Eat that meat, baby. Meat be good for you.
Heavier weights or higher reps?
Well, I wouldn't say necessarily. I would say controlled muscle contraction with positive muscle failure.
Oh, that's good. Biggest mistake women make when trying to lose weight after 50?
Thinking they can't.
That's really good. I agree with that 1,000%. And I also think maybe under eating and then too much cardio.
Yeah. I know that over 50, especially like if you desire to age optimally, our thoughts can really hinder us or help us. And women especially, really got to take a look and observe their thoughts and have an understanding if they're their best advocate or their worst enemy. Because I don't care who it is. Like, if you're laying in bed and your thoughts are, oh God, another day, I have to get up. Or you're like, oh, today's a new day. I get to be me. This is so awesome. Like, I'm not saying I don't ever have a bad day, but I'll always get up and I'm always grateful that I get another day. And that is what helps me go throughout the rest of the day, because I know I'm worthy enough to rock that day.
Great answer. Best confidence booster for midlife women?
Thoughts? I'm a big person when it comes to just being your own inner, like having your own inner knowing and understanding of what's going on, because I'm telling you, I see so many women who are defeated in their 50s because they continually break themselves down, and that needs to stop. That needs to stop for women, especially over 50. Like, I go places a lot with Jay, and we're around a lot of people, and I'm around a lot of younger women, and I could be one of those women that's like, oh wow, like that girl's so much more beautiful, and oh, this girl has that, or I wish I could look like that. I don't do that, because in my mind, I'm grateful that I have the opportunity to be. I had my chance to be young. Now I have a chance to be in my 50s and rock it, and that's what I'm going to do.
Good. One thing that women should start doing in their 40s to prepare for their 50s?
I would say definitely get your hormone panels. If you haven't already, definitely get your hormone panels, because you want to make sure that you have a way, you want to know what your optimal levels are. And if you don't have a base, like I even think into your 30s, you should start doing that, just so that you know what your optimal levels are and you can have something to work towards as you're getting older.
Yeah. And the last question, fill in the blank. Over 50 is
Fabulous.
And you are living proof, girl. You are living proof. If people,
As are you, my love.
if people want to find you, follow you on social media, join your membership group, where can they do all that?
So on Instagram, I'm Mindset Freak, and it's FREEK. That's on Instagram. On Monica Campbell Facebook. And the membership group is Fully Optimized Health, and you could go to jcampbell.com for that. That's my husband's website. I also have a website, monicacampbell.com, and it's a work in progress right now. I'm evolving into my own message, which is coming. So TBD.
Okay, cool. That's awesome. It was so fun. Thank you so much for chatting with me. You and your husband were so delightful and so wonderful, and I'm so happy that I got to meet you guys in person too. I love when I get to meet my guests in person.
I know, it's awesome. And Helen, thank you for being an inspiration for so many of us, for us women, on what it means to being older and doing it with such beauty, like presence and authenticity.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Happy Easter. And hopefully I'll see you at the Biohacking Conference in May.
I will see you there. And it's happy anniversary to Jay and I.
Oh, that's right. Happy anniversary. I hope you do something fabulous today. All right. Take care.
Thank you. Ciao.
I sure hope you enjoyed that conversation with Monica and I. It was so fun and lots of great information. And here are some takeaways I got from our conversation. Number one, aging is not a decline. It's an optimization opportunity. Women over 50 have the ability to become more intentional and strategic with their health than ever before. And by dialing in strength training, nutrition, sleep, and recovery, this phase of life can actually be one of peak vitality and confidence, not limitation. Number two, muscle is your longevity currency. Building and maintaining lean muscle isn't just about aesthetics. It's critical for metabolic health, bone density, hormone balance, and independence as we age. Prioritizing resistance training and adequate protein becomes non-negotiable. Number three, biohacking is about personalization and not perfection. From peptides to wearables to recovery tools, the goal isn't to do everything, it's to find out what works for your body. Women over 50 benefit most when they listen to their bodies, track key markers, and take a customized approach rather than chasing trends. Number four, peptides are a powerful tool, but not a magic fix. Now, peptides can support fat loss, muscle preservation, recovery, skin health, and overall vitality, but they work best when layered on top of a solid foundation of lifestyle habits, education, proper guidance, and responsible use that are key to getting safe and effective results. Now, if you'd like to find Monica, follow her, get in touch with her on social media, you can find her on Instagram at Mindset Freak, and that's FREEK. She's on Facebook at Monica Campbell. And if you're interested in joining their optimization group called Fully Optimized Health, you can go to jcampbell.com and get all that information there. You can find me at helen@ageisirrelevant.com. You can also reach out to me on Instagram and Facebook and TikTok at Helen Fritch or HelenFritch_IFBB Pro. And if you haven't ordered my book yet, Life Lessons from the Overhead Bin, you can find that on Amazon. Again, thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this conversation, please share and tag us if you do. And until next time, age truly is irrelevant. Bye-bye.